experience, as is narrated in the book, an experience unique enough to have become a household word. Still, the power and influence of his saga has lived in the hearts of our race down through the pages of time. An allegory so commanding that some believe it to be false, just as Hamlet or Othello. It was never the way of our race to write about or to evolve literary heroes from pure imagination, because the writings were always divinely inspired as well as a direct command from Yahweh himself to write these things down. Elihu is who I believe wrote the pages of Job. Let me make this clear, that Job is real, just as you and I are real. Job was a witness during the time when all of the morning stars sung together and shouted for joy. Job came forth from the bosom of the Father, in the womb of the morning. Okay, I think we need to establish some groundwork, which most people overlook or just don't care to take the time to research. Remember that all wisdom comes from Yahweh and no other. And with this in mind, will allow you to reach a higher level of consciousness. So, speaking of Elihu, who appears, it seems out of nowhere in chapter 32, has been alongside Job through this entire attack upon his race or family, if you like that term better. We read that Elihu is the son of Barkiel, the Buzite, the race of Ram. You say, how do you know this? Well, Elihu was with Job the whole time. Simple. In chapter 32, verses 1 through 6, Elihu gets angry with Job and his friends and speaks out for the first time. But keep in mind that in those days the elders were distinguished by age, not by title, and treated with great respect, something that has been lost and not taught to our youth. Not only that, but the law states that not until the age of 30 or 30 years of age was a human considered mature enough to speak with authority, especially in the presence of elders, nor be recognized. So when we read Elihu saying that he is young in years and that Job is old and fearful to tell Job what he knows. Now, did you notice that Elihu is the son of Barkiel? Well, he is. And Barkiel is one of the Grigori. But at this time in history, Barkiel did not fall. Did I confuse you? In the time of Noah, we hear of watchers who fell from grace. And Barkiel is one of the 200 that fell, but at a much later time than that of the story of Job. So you see why Elihu was able to say to Job, I was fearful, not daring to tell you what I know. Being the son of Barkiel, Elihu has great wisdom and can be read in chapters 32 through 37. Keep in mind that during the time of Job, Barkiel was blessed by Yahweh and was a king, so to speak, and happened to be worshipped by the race that was destroyed in the first earth age mentioned by Jeremiah, chapter 4. And in the book of Enoch, chapter 8, that upon the fall of Barkiel, he taught the observers of the stars. They were revered as gods and still are today in Hinduism. Coming from Mount Ammon or Armon, had followed Milcom, better known as Moloch, in the land or planet Rahab or Rahab. So this now shows you that Job is not the same as the one in the land of Egypt. Now, within the pages of the book of Job, we find much mentioned on the sciences and the found understanding of our universe in which we live. The earth, for example, is protected by magnetic fields, and in its core generates motion that shifts in a clockwise as well as a counterclockwise rotations, sort of like playing a Rubik's Cube. And this is what allows things to live within and on the surface of our planet. The earth is a huge living generator, and if the inner and outer layers were to stop, all life would cease to exist. In Genesis chapter 38:12 through 14, we read, "Hast thou commanded the morning since the days, and caused the day spring to know his place, that it might hold the ends of the earth? It turns itself as clay of a seal." So we see that the earth is a living, breathing organism, just as we are. Not much different other than the shape. It has a heart, veins, brain, a skeletal structure, and even a digestive system. You say that's just silly. Well, think of the magnetic field is the brain, and the heart is the Earth's center core, that is a ball of plasmatic light, and its skeleton is the iron or ore metals, and the veins are what we refer to as gas and oil, etc. And of course the digestive system is the water cycle. As we read in Job chapter 36, verses 27 through 28, a part of the planet's anatomy is mentioned. "For he makes small the drops of water. They pour down rain according to the vapor thereof, which the clouds do drop and distill upon Adam abundantly." Keep in mind that light is heat, and heat produces life, and there are many degrees of light, such as lightning or fire, which are different orders of light. For example, fire is what Yahweh created the angels from, as we were formed from pure light, making us greater than the angels, and is most likely one of many reasons Septeniel became jealous of us. Anyway, the center of our galaxy is in the constellation of Pleiades, with the brightest star being Alcon, with a distance of around 24 trillion light years away. And this is where we came from. Pleiades means to pivot, and come from the Hebrew word chema. We see this mentioned in Job 38 verse 31. "Can thou bind the sweet influence of Pleiades?" So, in a way, we have come full circle and are back to the Mazzaroth, which we read in Job 38:31 through 33. "Canst thou bind the sweet influence of Pleiades, or loosen the bands of Orion? Can thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season, or can thou guide Articus with his sons? Know you the ordinances of heaven? Can thou set the dominion thereof, the earth?" Remember, I said that the Mazzaroth is the zodiac, and Orion in Hebrew is Keskal, and Articus is a fixed star of the first magnitude, and is located at the end of the handle of the Big Dipper. I want to remind you once again that we were here before the foundations of the earth. The invisible became visible, and light brought forth light, offspring of Yahweh, and that we moved in speeds and in orders of the path which were given to us, and at the motion of circle started to form the planets or earths. Read Isaiah 40 verse 21 through 22. Have you not known? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundation of the earth? It is he that sits upon the circle of the earth. You ask, how do I know this? Well, I was there, and so were you. And in chapters 38 verse 35 it says, Can thou send lightnings, that they may go and say unto thee, Here we are? And in Job 38:25, Who has divided a way for the lightning and thunder? Job tells us in chapter 26 verse 7 that he hangs the earth upon nothing, and also that he stretches out the north over the empty place, which in the north sky, when you look up to the heavens, you will see nothing. So in the brief time it took to read these few pages, I ask in the name of Almighty Yahweh that the pieces of the puzzle has become much clearer, and that the dim past is no longer shadowed with mystery, and upon putting the pieces together, make the box top of time more visible as to who you are and where you come from, and where you are going. And always keeping in mind that these things can be brought back to your remembrance by searching to prove yourself worthy, not only worthy of Yahweh's love, but also worthy of our brothers and sisters. May Yahweh bless you and keep you, and in his service I share this with you, my brothers and sisters. Randy T Aglira. All right.